We're just gonna run. Hello and welcome to VK Punk Wrestling, your new and soon to be recognized as your top source for all things wrestling and sports entertainment related. Please go give this video a thumbs up and show your support by hitting the RKO on the subscribe button. Then punk kick that bell icon so you're aware of when every video goes live. I am your host, Vin C. Punk. And welcome to today's show where we will be giving our review in our YAYY BOOO style that we do for last night's Monday Night Raw. We have to, of course, acknowledge our champion, once again, AK Havoc, who is the VK Punk Wrestling Champion because of his win at Predictions Warfare for the Elimination Chamber. But he better hold on to that title tight because I'm coming for it come WrestleMania. It's only a month or so away, and I have my sights set on my title because, let's be honest, it should have been me. Anyway, VK Punk Wrestling, we the ones for wrestling content. Now, also, before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Capgo Championship belts. Capgo makes some amazing products. Their biggest seller is their replica titles that they make, like the ones that we have shown previously. We got quite a few of them. This little gem he made for my son. But it's not just wrestling belts, UFC, any title belt that you've ever seen in any promotion. And even if you want something that you haven't seen before, you can work with Abdul, who's amazing to work with, to come up with something completely original that will suit your title needs. But it's not just titles either. He makes hats and vests, jackets, gloves, masks, and even some really unique items like a Macho King crown that Randy Savage wore after his King of the Ring win a long time ago. Capco has the best products that I have seen, and personally I use them for everything. You can see that I have a bunch of their pieces. You can see their products by going to their website, capgointernational.com. Their Facebook and email will be on the credit screen to this very video. All right, so now let's get into our YAYY BOOO review of Monday Night Raw. Raw's live in Brussels, Belgium, and opens with the usual parade of superstars entering the building as Michael Cole runs down the card. We get some drone shots of the stadium, and Michael Cole is joined by Corey Graves tonight, and they talk about John Cena making his appearance tonight. We go into a video recap of Cody Rhodes, even though it's Monday Night Raw, and Cody does not go here. It goes through this story with Cena and Cody. When we get back to the arena, it's quiet for a good moment. They really let the silence draw on. And then when Cena's music finally hits, the crowd just erupts. I mean, it was quite the reaction. It seems like at first people wanted to cheer, but then everybody remembered, hey, this guy's a bad guy, and then boo. He comes out from the locker room. He flashes his little towel, and then he just walks to the ring. Just like saunters down there. Doesn't do his typical run to the ring where he jumps in, where he jumps right in and does this whole Cena thing. He just walks to the ring and enters. There was a long time while Cena just walks around the ring and the crowd chants John Cena sucks with his music. And then we get a battle chant of Let's Go Cena and Cena sucks. This goes on for quite a while and kind of drags out the segment. Quite a few times where Cena set the mic down and was going to leave, but then he got more boos. Cena probably isn't going to say anything, or at least that's how I felt at this point. I felt like he just definitely wasn't going to say anything, but as we know, he said quite a lot. But the crowd is hot, and they're definitely making it their show at this point. Cena finally talks, but you can barely hear him at first. He gets out 2 lines before the crowd takes over again, and Cena says they are making this easy for him. He says he has been the victim of an abusive relationship with the WWE Universe and the crowd. John says he's been bullied by the fans into becoming the puppet they want him to be. And the FU Cena chants start. The bleeping out of the F word isn't really on spot. You could still hear it, but they're definitely chanting this for Cena. Cena says he isn't a babyface or a heel. He is a human being. Says all of them have been awful to him. Like all of the crowd, all of the universe have been awful to him. This crowd is chanting things I can't even make out at this point. Cena says he has transformed who he is according to what the crowd wants. He wins a lot, apparently. He wins and wins and wins and wins. Says everything he has done since they first hated him has not been enough. He goes on to say that he can just walk away, and the crowd starts cheering the na 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 hey 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 goodbye. Uh, Says that all the idiots. John Cena says that all the idiots are only proving him right, and that no matter what he does, it's never enough for the fans, and that we should all be ashamed. He tells them that all they do is take from him and care about themselves. Says not one of them has ever asked him how he feels. Says the fans' time is up and his time is now. We want Cody chants erupt at this point, and Cena continues to tell the crowd that they are awful people. More Let's Go Cena and Cena Sucks battle chants. He says that both sides are just as awful, whether you're the one saying Let's Go Cena or Cena Sucks. Says, he's been the butt of a stupid invisible joke for 15 years and calls them all pathetic. Very realistic. Says they all don't support him. They use him to feel better about their own pathetic life, and all they have done is sat on their asses and watch him be great, and that everyone, including some kid that he points out, is a toxic, dysfunctional relationship for him. And he essentially dumps the whole crowd in the WWE universe. He says there's not a noise anyone can make that would matter, but right then, Cody Rhodes' music hits. The crowd is hot for Cody. They sing his song as he walks to the ring. It's not as live as Friday night was, because Friday night you couldn't even hear Cody's song over the crowd. There's a number of chants for a chance for the champ. Cody says that John Cena had got the worst from the WWE universe, but he also got the best, and that's who made him who he was, because they just knew that Cena was special. Cena starts to say something, and calls Cody a kid, but Cody yells enough. He says he's not a kid, he's the champion. He asks Cena's, who the hell are you? Says he was looking forward to the road to WrestleMania against Cena, but this better not be the Cena that comes to Mania, because he will retire him early. He says, go find John Cena, because he doesn't want this whiny... And then he just drops the mic and leaves the ring. But as he is leaving, Cena is still in the ring with his mic in hand, but he doesn't say anything. Instead, at the end of the segment, he just drops the mic and exits the ring. The crowd jeers at Cena, more goodbye chants when he's on the way out of the arena, but he never said anything else on the mic. This segment is still being long-winded and played out. Cole apologizes for Cena and explains his admiration for the guy that Cena used to be, and calls him an irrational prick. Graves says Cena is just speaking his mind, no matter who likes it. I'm gonna go ahead and give a yay for this segment. Oh, sorry there, my soundbar didn't work real quick. All of it. Everything was amazing. It's so weird seeing the man that you can't see in this role where he's mad at the crowd because it's been so long. And the whole scenario just seems like we are living in some alternate parallel universe where this could even happen. But John Cena does play it well, even though he hasn't played this role in a long time. He makes you believe that he believes his gripes, and they all do seem kind of logical and relative. He calls out a kid, which is hilarious and fun for this character that he's portraying. He says he's been made the joke he's been made the butt of that stupid invisible joke for 15 years. I mean, which is absolutely true. He has been. It's true. Everyone in the whole world has made memes or stuff. A picture of John Cena driving his vehicle. And it says, look, I found a car that drives itself, because you can't see John Cena, of course. But I mean, it's all true. It's all true. If you think about it all, from the time he first came up and everybody hated him, to when he went to the Doctor Thugonomics, where that was cool for a while, and then they hated him. Um, it kind of makes John sympathetic because technically he is not wrong about any of it. The crowd treated him bad in the beginning and then treated him bad after the novelty of the Dr. Thugonomics gimmick wore off, to where he became the character he is today, which went over well for a while and then got pooped on for a bit. But he actually, at the end of this segment, he actually dumps the WWE Universe. I mean, this is the funniest stuff you can hear John Cena say, and it's so out of character for him because you're used to him not being this guy, but being the hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up guy. But it also works well the way he's doing it. Cody Rhodes also played his part here, and you can already see them building a type of face turn for John in the future. Maybe that's what he will do. Maybe Cody Rhodes' words get to him, and he goes out and refines himself, and then in Mania he comes out as the Super Cena, turning on The Rock and becoming his usual self again and winning the title under that guise. There is a lot to take in here, and many places they are telegraphing this to go. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fun. So once again, yay for that spot. Okay, next we go back to Cole and Graves at the announce table, and they put over the main event for the IC title tonight. They go through some IC title defenses with Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Tonight's main event is Finn Balor versus Braun Breaker for the title. Back to the action, Ludwig Kaiser gets his entrance next for a no-holds-barred match that he has against Penta. We go into break, and when we come back, Penta gets his amazing entrance. The whole crowd chants for Penta the whole way. We are really doing something big with Penta. He's got one of the best entrances that I have seen in a long time for a WWE superstar. And they really only give big entrances to the people that they are planning to push. And I can see it with this guy. This guy has a whole bunch of potential. He can go a long way. The bell rings, and Penta is telling Kaiser to come on. They trade some strikes in the middle of the ring, but Kaiser gets chopped down to the mat and rolls outside. Kaiser sends Penta into the Timekeeper's area, but Penta walks the barricade into a Hurricane Rana and sends Kaiser into the apron and goes back in the ring to taunt. Kaiser goes under the ring to grab some chairs, but his plans are foiled by Penta, who does a tope con hilo over the top. Penta pulls Kaiser to the top of the announce table, where they give a YAYY BOOO spot, trading strikes, and Kaiser gives Penta a Death Valley driver onto the announce table before we go into break. When we come back from the commercial ads, Kaiser is in control when we get back, trying to pull Penta's mask off, but Penta up top delivers a crossbody followed by a sling blade. Kaiser reverses an Irish whip into a backstabber by Penta for a near fall. Penta calls for a destroyer, but Kaiser hits a kick and another Death Valley driver and covers Penta for a 2 count. The action goes outside once again, where Kaiser bounces Penta off the steel steps. He gets back in the ring and out the other side to get his running start to do that kick he does, but he is stymied by a back body drop onto the announce table by Penta. The action manages to get back into the ring finally, where we get a strike exchange while they are both on their knees. This continues as they make their way to a vertical standing position for another YAYY BOOO spot. Penta tries to hit a Hurricane Rana, but it was reversed into a face slam for a near fall. Kaiser puts Penta in the ropes and sells out to him, telling him that he's going to let him know what fear is. And then he hits him with the chair and chokes him with the chair in the corner, telling Penta to say it, trying to get Penta to quit the match. However, Penta fights back, but Kaiser gets into position for his finish on Penta, who turns it around for the armbreaker spot that Penta does. Penta picks up the chair at this point, and Kaiser's in the corner begging off and says he wins, he quits, but the referee doesn't call it for some reason. and Kaiser manages to get the chair, but Penta kicks it right into his face and lands a few chair shots. Penta goes to the middle rope and hits a destroyer onto the chair before hitting the Penta driver and securing the win. They showed you a couple replays of this, and the destroyer onto the chair looked like it was done really well, but then he gets back into the ring to set up the Penta driver, and it just, when you're watching it, you can see Kaiser's head hit the leg of the chair, and I was really worried about the guy. On the way out of the ring, Kathy Kelly meets Penta in the aisle for an interview and asks Penta what is next. Penta thanks Brussels first and foremost and says he loves them, and then says some stuff that's hard to make out, but says he will go after the IC title and run some Spanish before hitting all of his catchphrases. Yay for this segment. As the match was high-paced and full of action, Kaiser feels like he is top-of-the-line competitor and on equal level as Penta, even if he's not pushed the same way. This guy definitely has a future in the company, and so does Penta. So they both put on an amazing match here, full of fun and excitement. Just good wrestling fun. So good for that. Damage Control is shown backstage next, getting Dakota Kai getting ready for her match, which is coming up next against Ivy Nile. We also see Judgment Day shown backstage, where everyone kind of blows smoke up everyone else's bum. And Finn thanks Dom for getting him the match, and Dom has an idea to add Penta to the Judgment Day. Finn obviously has a problem with this, as Penta just declared that he wants the IC title, and of course, Finn is going to fight for the IC title tonight, and he calls Dom a snake. You cut to the ring where Dakota Kai is already making her entrance, but Chad Gable comes running down to ringside to be by American Maid's side, who obviously have already made their entrance not on air. The bell rings and Ivy Nile gets a hot start with a lariat. Michael Cole asks Gable where his lucha mask is, and Nile hits a German suplex for a near fall. Dakota rolls up Ivy, but only gets a 2 count, and Dakota starts to run hot. Nice corner kicks by Kai, who eventually kicks Nile to the outside of the ring. Kai goes to her on the ropes, but Gable is on the apron, which Nile takes advantage of and lands a cool slam. But this distraction brings out the LWO, who chase off Gable after attacking the Creed brothers. Ivy is still in the ring, distracted by all of this, and Kai lands her big corner kick and the GTK for the win. This wasn't really great. Alright, boo for this, unfortunately. All the shenanigans and run-ins really made the match more convoluted than it had to be. On top of that, I feel like Ivy Nile and American Maid shouldn't be the type that can be so easily taken advantage of with this kind of distraction nonsense. And it all kind of gives Dakota a cheap victory, too. So, boo for all of that. I really didn't like it. So, the next segment is the contract signing between Io Sky and Bianca. Io Sky gets her entrance for the contract signing. We go into commercial. Upon return, Bianca is already in the ring with Adam Pearce. He announces the contract signing and lets the contenders talk. Io starts by saying no one will disrespect her because she is the women's world champion and that she will win at Mania and still be champion. She signs the contract. The crowd actually chants, "You deserve it," at Io. But Bianca starts talking and says she has respect for Io and gave her the benefit of the doubt last week because it was low-key her fault. But that she won't tolerate having hands put on her again without doing anything about it. Pierce is about to call the signing and wrap it up because Bianca signed it now. But Rhea Ripley's music hits, and she makes her way to the ring, Pierce yelling the whole time. Mommy says she won't act like she didn't get slapped last week, the way that Bianca is, and asks B what she's even doing, which is signing the contract for her match. Rhea says she's out to just watch, like Bianca was last week for her match. But Io starts to get involved and gets mushed away again just by Bianca, just like she did last week. This, of course, leads to Rhea headbutting Bianca and powerbombing Io onto the prone Bianca, who's laid out on the table so she power bombs Io right onto Bianca. The table doesn't break. I don't know if it was supposed to, but it looked a little rough. Rhea signs her name on the contract, which I guess is supposed to officially add her to the match at Mania, which is what I had said would be the final outcome of all this. But I mean, literally, boo for this. It can't be legal. Her name cannot be anywhere on the legal documents, and there's no way she should just be able to sign it and get herself into the match, uh, like it's contracted. And even if like Rhea did sign it, why wouldn't WWE just redraw the contract and have the two competitors sign it again without putting Rhea in it? There really is no logic to this, and it's very off-putting and somehow not right, and everyone knows it. I'm excited for the match and all three of the competitors involved, but this makes no sense, and I don't see how we are supposed to believe this is how legal documents work. So boo for this. Next, when we cut next, Jey Uso is shown on the way to the ring. He sells out about how he hasn't been the same and he hasn't been himself. He's talking about Austin Theory tonight. And he'll see Gunther at Mania, and Jay goes to go through the curtain to make his entrance, but Gunther is there, talking about Jimmy being just as stupid as Jay is. But it's broken up fairly quickly and efficiently by Adam Pearce and the other officials. Jay finally gets to make his way to the ring as we go into a commercial break. When we get back, Austin Theory is already in the ring. The bell rings, and Theory kind of gets an early jump due to a Waller distraction. And Jay fights back, runs the ropes, and lands a spear for a win. And get this match dispatched quickly. He super kicks Waller post-match before botching a tope con hilo. And, I mean, it looked rough. There was a comparison to Top Dollar when Top Dollar botched his tope a while ago, and man, they do look pretty similar. It did not look good. Jay gets back in the ring and he's like, I'm okay, which I'm sure he thinks everybody saw it. But as he is back in the ring trying to assure everybody that he was okay after that botch move, he's jumped by Gunther and goes into a heated strike exchange, and Jay eventually grabs the title off of Gunther's waist. Gunther lunges but is sidestepped and sent to the outside. He managed to get his title back, but Jay celebrates in the ring. Once again, boo for this segment. I get Jay's mad and angry, but he really made Austin Theory look like a fool here with this squash. It didn't make Jay look strong. It made Theory look weak. It made Gunther look a little odd, but Jay did not appear strong here. Gunther didn't look strong, Jay didn't look strong, and A-Town Down Under just looked weak as hell. So, once again, boo. Next, we get another video package breaking down the main event, where Braun Breaker gets highlights and a good rundown. But then we get the Finn's rundown, and it's very captivating. I don't think he will win tonight. At this point, I think Braun will keep the title. After a short break, we get a recap of what just happened with the women's contract signing. And Rhea and Adam are shown backstage arguing over the contract. And Adam takes it back just before Bianca comes in to attack Rhea. Io joins the fray, and her and Bianca are taken out by Rhea collectively. The action goes back inside the arena, and American-made the Creed brothers are in the ring before LWO make their entrance. Tonight's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee that will be taking on American-made. Will the Mass Attacker from last week make another appearance tonight? The bell rings, and American-made come out hot, but it gets turned around by Dragon Lee, who runs through some high-octane offense for a while and gets a near fall. American-made prevent the tag, and Julius takes control in the ring. Back from the break, both teams are trying to get tags to their corner, and Rey Mysterio gets a hot run. A bunch of reversals take place here where Brutus throws Rey to Julius, but it gets countered by Rey for a DDT, and then Dragon lands a Hurricane Rana to Brutus on the outside off the apron. Rey hits his own Hurricane Rana on Julius and sets up the 619, then nails his splash to get the 3 count. Post-match, the masked attacker does come back to take out the LWO with some impressive offense that resembled Chad Gable's moveset. Corey and Cole argue about this at the announce table. So this was good. All right, a lot better than the Ivy Nile American-made match, because Ivy Nile, and like I said, that whole match was convoluted with LWO coming down. But the in-ring action was good here. The Brutus, or not the Brutus, the Creed brothers are a lot better than I think anybody gives them credit for, and they're not really getting a chance to show off. I thought that one match they had with the War Raiders was one of the best tag matches in a while. It was really good. But who is the mask guy? Everybody is supposed to believe that it's Chad Gable, but when you look at his body type, his arms don't look big enough to be Chad Gable. But the similar moveset is disturbing, and you are supposed to think that it's Chad Gable. Not that anyone couldn't do a German suplex and a diving headbutt, but it still doesn't look like him. It doesn't look like Chad Gable's, Olympic muscular body is what's underneath those clothes. It definitely looks like a person of smaller stature. And like I said, you're supposed to believe it's Gable, but it's obviously not. After that, we get another recap here about last week's main event at the Garden between Rollins and CM Punk. The angle at the end with Roman is also highlighted in this package with his attack on Rollins, and then seeing the Wise Man with Punk in the ring and the subsequent attack on the Chicago-made Punk. This all leads to a Rollins entrance, and once again, the crowd is very lively and energetic and sing his song loudly before they go into a commercials. When we come back, we get a small hype package from Cole when we return for the main event, and Brussels is still singing Seth's song even after the producers cut the music and we have come back from a little break. Rollins has a mic for a promo, but the crowd takes control of the show again, and Seth just lets them. This goes on for quite a long time, once again kind of dragging out the segment, making it all very long-winded. He finally talks and welcomes Brussels to Monday Night Rollins. He does his little shtick thing with the crowd, and they sing his song some more. This, once again, goes on far longer than it needs to. Finally, Seth stops them. The segment is already exhausting by this point. The crowd then starts chanting CM Punk, and says that he will get to him, but let's talk about Roman first, and the crowd chants for OTC. He says he would have done the same thing that Roman did last week, so he can, sympathize with the guy and relate to him. However, Roman does not have an original plan, and is always stealing his plan, because he pretty much did the same thing to Seth Rollins that Seth Rollins did to him at the Royal Rumble. Okay, then goes on to CM Punk, where the crowd chants again. Seth calls Punk the luckiest loser. Goes on to say if he has just a little more time, he would have taken care of CM Punk's problem for the CM Punk problem for everyone. But he is cleaning up Roman's mess again. He calls Punk and Reigns his favorite people, and says he will go to Italy this Friday to meet with both of them, as they will both be appearing on SmackDown. He asked Brussels to sing his song one more time as he exits, and the show gets ready for the main event. He says he'll see you boys on Friday, and he actually does make his exit. So this segment has both some yay-ish, but there's also some boo-ish. Rollins runs down people the way he usually does, which is amazing, but there was also a lot of pandering to the crowd and really letting them have the segment, which in and of itself is not a bad thing, but this much of it really pulls you away from anything but the crowd. So the promo and the storyline here is yay, but the long-winded end of the segment is very boo. This could have been shortened to stop the crowd after so long and just let Seth go, get his promo in. So uh, I don't really know how to give it a yay or a boo. I think it's good, but it's also bad. So next we get some more Cole and Graves banter as they run down next week's card for Glasgow. Cena is going to be on Raw again next week, and we get thrown backstage to Kathy Kelly, who's just hanging out with AJ Styles. She asks AJ Styles a question real quick. I can't remember exactly what it is because AJ didn't even get to answer because Karrion Kross comes in the shot to talk to AJ. Kross tries to manipulate AJ and seems to work, even though AJ says that he can see what Kross is doing. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. But I think this has some potential in anything that Kross is doing. I'm a fan of. Anything that AJ Styles is doing, I'm a fan of. You can see this is one of my favorite vests right here. I love this vest. But I'm waiting to see the payoff for this. I don't know what exactly it is we're doing. Are we gonna hook Styles and Kross up? Are they gonna actually, or is this gonna turn into a feud? I don't really know where this is going as of yet. I can see that Kross is obviously manipulating AJ Styles, and AJ Styles isn't completely aware of it, even though he says he is. So where this goes is really up in the air. I can't call it at this point, but I am looking forward to it because both of the people currently involved are amazing. And if Logan Paul is the one that's going to be involved, as much as I don't like him, he really is a talented competitor. So it could be good. Um, so we finally get entrances for the main event between Finn and Braun for the IC title. Balor gets a really worked up, cool entrance, and so does Braun. Braun gets his big entrance as well. And we get in-ring introductions for the competition. I feel like there are only two outcomes to this match. Braun dominates the end and wins, or the Judgment Day get involved and Finn gets a dirty win. A lot of back and forth at the beginning of this match with neither man being able to really get control of the match for very long. Balor sends Braun outside, but Breakker comes back in and gets control in a corner. And then he sends Finn to the outside. Breakker goes for his long run spear, but gets caught by Finn with a sling blade. Some more back and forth to a Balor near fall in the ring, and Balor maintains control and kind of plays with Braun the way a tiger plays with its food. It's just really uncomfortable, and you really know that this is not going to be something that's a good idea. And Breakker, of course, hulks up and then gets a hot run. The Judgment Day come down to ringside where they are just hanging out for now. But Finn gets a roll up near fall and reverses a military press to his 1916 move, I think is the name of it. And he gets a near fall there. The crowd chants, "Dom, you suck," even though Dom hasn't done anything yet. He's just been standing at ringside, and the crowd decide to jeer him. So in the ring, Balor is in control until Breakker runs the ropes and hits a really high speed lariat. Finn rolls out and Breakker does his long jump spot to the announce table and nails Finn with the long jump lariat. I don't know what you would call it. But Breakker throws Balor back into the ring, but turns his attention to Dom before entering. Now here's a spot where I thought Balor would really get ahead based off the distraction, but it doesn't really go that way. Breakker runs the ropes for his super spear, but Balor reverses it. He goes for the coup de grace and a lot of reversals here, and a couple near falls from each competitor. Breakker's mouth is suddenly bleeding. Balor gets control and goes up top for the coup again, but Breakker stops him. They battle on the top rope, and Braun goes for a suplex, but Carlito distracts the ref as Dom pushes Breakker off, and he falls off the turnbuckle. But this also causes Finn to fall and land on his grapefruits on the top rope. He and Dom talk it out, and Breakker takes out the rest of Judgment Day before jumping up to the top rope and landing a Frankensteiner, and then a spear for the win. Balor loses again. Post-match, Braun is attacked by Dom and Carlito, but for some reason, Penta comes out and takes out Dom and Carlito, and Braun follows up with a spear to Carlito. Penta and Breaker face off in the center of the ring, looking to set up a match between these two. That would be a great WrestleMania match, I think. But Penta would have to win. I would love to see this match at the show shows. This main event definitely gets a yay. Okay, some really amazing action from a seasoned vet and a young up-and-comer who just absolutely killed their spot in the show and took the show. There was high-octane stuff, some cool high-risk stuff, power moves and gymnastic-type maneuvers, outside of tension, and an explosive end. Outside of tension, I mean, there was distractions and interferences. This match really did have a lot going for it, with aside from like weapons. This was a great match. It far exceeded my expectations, which were already high considering the two involved. The only thing I didn't like about this was the outcome. I would have rather seen Finn win, even though I said earlier, before the match started, I didn't see Finn winning. I would have loved to see Finn win. But apparently that's just not in his cards at the moment, as he has been losing all of his matches lately. I want to see a climb for him, but it's just not coming. I hear a lot of rumor about bringing back the Demon in the past, and some interviews have been talked about throughout the years on if he would ever bring it back. And he says it's like a never say never thing. It would have to be the right time and the right situation. But there's no reason that this couldn't be it. He's on a losing streaks. He cannot purchase a win lately. So, in attempt to get back into his winning ways, he brings back the Demon, and this, of course, will only happen after the Jade at the Judgment Day have had enough of him not pulling his weight and turn on him for that, and his lack of wanting a new person in the Judgment Day when it seems like everybody else does. I think this will tire the group of Finn, and he will get taken out by them. As is the way with the Judgment Day, Edge got kicked out once Finn had joined Rhea and Damian Priest in the ranks of the Judgment Day. So after that, the Judgment Day got some new people who then kicked out the next two longest involved members, which was Rhea and Damian. So they turned on two of those originals, and now Balor is the next generation to be kicked out of the group, because Edge was first. He was kicked out by he had Damian and Rhea under him, so they were the three originals. And then Finn Balor got involved only after Rhea and Damian were already apart. They all kicked Edge out, and then once the group got bigger, Rhea and Damian were in the group longest, and they got kicked out, which now makes Balor the person who is in the group the longest. And of course, he seems like he's in line for the next generation to be kicked out, because he's the only one of the original four left. I do like this storyline. All the possibilities of where it could go and all the outcomes of each one of those. This is a really neat story. This is cool to project about because everyone has a different prediction. I'm interested in Finn. I love Finn and the Judgment Day. I just want to see what's going to happen here. So that's it for our play-by-play for another Monday Night Raw. This one's in the bag on the road to WrestleMania, the European leg of the tour. Tonight was live from Brussels, Belgium, and the whole show gets a yay. Okay, there was plenty to love about this show and not a lot to hate. We got good action and storylines progressed, as they should, and we had high energy crowd that loves the sport. So once again, yay for the entire show. It was a really good show. I don't know. There was just so much packed into the show. From John Cena's promo, which he did really good at, Cody Rhodes confronting him, which was really good. A couple of not so great spots earlier in the show after the John Cena part, but then towards the end of the night, things started getting better again. So that's all I really have for you for tonight's review, but I want to let each and every one of you know how special you are and how unique you are for this world. There is no one like you out there, and that doesn't mean it will always be easy. Oftentimes it's not. but you have the ability to take a bad day today and turn it to better days ahead. There's always sunshine coming through the end of the tunnel, and even when it seems like that tunnel could last forever, remember that it doesn't. You're going to make it through and weather the storm in your own way. I believe in you, and I hope you believe in yourself. I know that you can make anything you want possible. Just don't forget all of that about yourself when things look bleak. They will always turn better, and you just have to stay strong until then, and you can watch everything turn around. I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you next time. I am Vince. Oh my gosh, I almost got my last name wrong right at the end of the video. Uh, I am Vincey Punk, and this is VK Punk Wrestling, because we the ones for wrestling content.